Hey Team Geometry, we're going to go into 8.5 right now. Take a moment, read the aim. Hopefully it'll feel pretty familiar and look sort of like what we did with volumes just now with surface area. So keep in mind with surface area we're always going to talk about two types. There's lateral, which is like on the side here. So if you look at this triangular prism, this side formed by this rectangle, also by this rectangle right back here, and this rectangle on the bottom. Those three rectangles form the lateral surface area. For this cylinder, this part right here that I would be able to hold. So if you picture this as like a paper towel roll, paper towel rolls are hollow in the center, but the part that you grab, you're grabbing the lateral surface area. And don't forget, total is the lateral surface area plus the area of the two bases. Circles in this case, triangles in this case. Alright, so here's example 1. You can pause as always, make sure you have the question down, feel free to jump on it if you think you know how to do it. So don't feel like you have to wait on me. Alright, the first thing you should do, as you know, is annotate the question. Cylindrical can, so we have a cylinder, so I'm going to write that. Cylinder. I'm going to draw it. And I put in some annotations for the question. This is giving me the lateral surface area. And as I can note here, I'm dealing with a cylinder, so my lateral surface area is this. So now it simply becomes a matter of plugging in the given information. They told me my LSA, so I'll put in my lateral surface area here, 260 pi. They told me the radius was 4, so that'll go here, enabling me to find h. Recall, the reason why it's 2 pi r h is for lateral surface area, we were talking about the circumference, the distance around the cylinder. So I believe this is the equation we have. Take a moment here, pause, make sure you believe it, and then solve it for h. And I got h is 10.345. That is the first question down. What is the height of the can? Check. Alright, next up, volume. So I'm dealing with what shape? Cylinder. So the volume formula, again, it's the area of a base, or of the base, times the height, which you see right here. So pi r squared, which is the area of a circle, times the height to create the cylinder. And now I think we know what the radius is. They gave it to us, and the height we found. And according to my calculator, it comes up to a nice and pretty 520. Volume's always in cubic centimeters. Or not always, but sorry, it's in cubic units, in this case, cubic centimeters. And so I'll box my two answers and call this a day. Well, I'll just say for bonus money, if you were wondering why 520, like why the volume came out to be an integer, just perfect number, no decimal, I just point out that even though h looked like it was ugly because it had a decimal, it was something over 8. The pi's cancel. So this was like 260 over 8, which you could reduce if you wanted to. But that 8 in the denominator, once it meets r squared would be 16, would have canceled. So it shouldn't surprise you too much that this works out to be something without a decimal. Alright, next example. Alright, here's example 2. Notice it's a rectangular prism. So I'll just take a note of that to myself. And you know the drill, pause here, otherwise I'll continue. So they tell me that I'm finding or looking for, or excuse me, they tell me I'm given the total surface area. So I'll just make a note of that. So now let's zoom out so I can see this a little nicer. Zoom out, please. Okay, thank you. So we are looking for the total surface area, which is 6 total sides, and they should look something. Alright, so here is my formula for total surface area. Again, I'm looking for 6 sides. One side, or one pair of sides, is this. Here's a rectangle 4 by x, and opposite that face will be another 4 by x rectangle. So together that's 2 4 by x rectangles. And as I look up here on top, I have another rectangle. That will be the same here and then here underneath. They're opposite faces, so I'll have an 8 by, well, let me see, this isn't actually labeled. What is this? Well, I can look. If this is x feet, that is x feet. So I can put that in x feet right there, opposite side x feet. So that top is an 8 by x rectangle. Looks terrible. Alright, and then for the last side, take a moment and see if you can figure out what it is. Hopefully you're looking at that green side, and hopefully what you're saying is that it should be 8 by 4. Hopefully you agree that this side right here, which is the same as this segment, same as this edge, these are all 8, so that's 8, that's 8. And then this edge right here is 4, making this 4, making this 4. So we have this green rectangle, which is an 8 by 4 rectangle right there. And we know the total surface area, if we add up all of these 6 sides, we should get 220. Well, pause here, just do some algebra. I think you'll find my answer agrees with yours if you go ahead and do it out. 6.5 feet. Hopefully you like it. Alright, take a moment, process this question, example 3. I'll just note for myself the key detail. Please do write it out. This is a triangular prism, that's what we're talking about. We're also going to be looking at the LSA for this question. So you have to think, okay, well that's lateral, that does not include the bases. So what are the bases? Well, let's move this over here. Hopefully you're thinking the base of a triangular prism is a triangle. So I want the sides that aren't the triangle, that aren't the two triangles or the bases. So I want this rectangle right here, that's x by, that's going to be a problem, I don't know how long that is. I want this rectangle on the bottom here, it's 6 by x is what this quantity is, this side length. And then last I have this rectangle right here, that's x by 4. So I have 3 rectangles. I have an x by 4. On the bottom here I have a 6 by x. But then I have this one that I can actually see, that's x by, how can we find this? Well, hopefully you're shouting at the screen. Well, no, you shouldn't be shouting, that's a one call out. But hopefully you're thinking Pythagorean theorem. So you have a right triangle here. Where's my laser? You have a right triangle here that's 4, 6, and then, So Pythagorean theorem says this. Take a moment to solve it. Hopefully you agree with it. Make sure you do. Solve that to find out what C is. We're just going to go to the nearest tenth, just one decimal spot. And I got C was approximately 7.2. That makes sense because it should be the hypotenuse, so it's longer than 4 and 6. Alright, so let's piece together this LSA. Let's get together what our 3 rectangles are. We said one side was 4 by x. Take a moment, hopefully you still believe which side that is, or that that is a rectangle. Plus, we said another side would be, I'll say x times 7.2. I'll just call that 7.2 x. And then the last side should be 6x. So just with my laser, I'll do the best job I can, but the 6x side would be the, looks like the bottom, I guess. This is x, making this here x. So we have an x by 6 rectangle on the bottom. What's this guy? For 7.2x, we figured out this side that's facing us right here. This is x. This is 7.2, so the area would be 7.2x. And then lastly, 4x refers to the side we can't see. This is 4x. So this is 4 by x, this rectangle. So that rectangle right there is 4x. Add them all together, what should we get? And then you say 17.2x, or maybe you were thinking the left side of the equation. They told us that the lateral surface area was actually 200. So I'll put that in. And last but not least, dividing both sides by 17.2 gives me x is 11.627, so I'll say 11.6. And they wanted height, which is in centimeters. Box it, and we shall move on. Alright, so this is an extra practice question. If you think you got this topic down, just move on to the exit ticket. But if you would like to see another example, pause here, take a look at this one, and see if you agree with what I start to do. Alright, first thing I note to myself is what kind of shape, and then I will draw it. So they give me this cylinder, they tell me the radius is 4, and the height is unknown. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, so I think I got all the useful information. Cylinder, this is the TSA, and I used radius, check. Okay, I'm finding height and volume. Alright, let's get into it. Now, how do we find the total surface area of a cylinder? Well, you need the area of both the bases, so the top and the bottom, there's 2 of them, and the area of a circle, which is what we have on the bottom and the top, is pi r squared. Plus, I need the lateral surface area, which, as you may recall, is 2 pi r h. Let me zoom out. I need some more space to work. And again, that's coming from, we want the lateral, which is around, and going around a circle is 2 pi r times the height. So here we have it. So let's plug in what we know. We know total surface area. We know radius. I think it looks like that. Well, let's clean this up. If we get this. And if I divide both sides by 8 pi, I think I get h equals 33.5 centimeters. So that's the first thing down. Now I need the volume, and again we are dealing with what kind of shape? Cylinder. So what is the volume formula? Hopefully that is what you were thinking. So let's plug in for R and for H. And according to my calculator, that turns out to be 536 pi, or if you went straight decimals, 1,683.89, so 8.9. I'll write it. Let me move this. Or this many, and of course we include units for volume, cubic units. I'll box my answers. There's one of them. Here is the second one, and hopefully that made sense. Alright, last extra practice example. Again, if you think you need it, please listen. If not, you should probably go on to the exit ticket. They tell us what kind of shape we have, so we'll note it to ourselves. A prism, we're looking at total surface area. Total surface area. For a prism, that's 6 sides. So let me get down what all my 6 sides should be. Let's keep in mind they travel in pairs. So this first one that I'm looking at right here, I can see 5. Well, how long is this? So it's 5 by whatever this is. Well, looks like that is 8 units long. So let's say that's 8 right there. That 8 here. This is a 5 by 8 side. I also have here on top an X by 8 side. And hopefully you're seeing this is X, and this is 8. So this rectangle is literally 8 by X. And then I have my last side, or I guess I should say last sort of pair of sides. So this face right here has a side, let me see, how long is this? Well, this is the same length as this. How long is this? It is X units long. And how long is this? Well, this is the same as this. which is the same as this, so it is 5 units long. So I also have a 5 by x side. So what information haven't I used? Well, they told me the total surface area was 700. So let me put that in for TSA. 700 is, let's simplify this whole thing out and see what we get. I believe we get this. Subtracting 80 from both sides gives me 620. Combining 16x plus 10x gives me 26x. And lastly, when I divide by, when I divide by 26, what do I get? Well, according to my smart calculator, 23.8 feet. Hope this was helpful. Hopefully you know what to do. Please move to your exit ticket. Have a great day.